The United States is grappling with a profound and deeply unsettling event. Charlie Kirk, a prominent and often polarizing figure in American conservative politics, was tragically killed. He was the founder of Turning Point USA, an organization aimed at mobilizing young conservative activists, high school, college campuses. Kirk was known for his sharp commentary, his unwavering support for former President Donald Trump, and his ability to draw large, passionate crowds. For millions of his followers, he was more than just a political commentator. He was a leader. The tragic incident occurred on September 12, 2025, during a speaking event at a university in Utah. Kirk was on stage addressing a packed auditorium. Eyewitness accounts describe a chaotic scene unfolding in an instant. A lone individual reportedly bypassed security measures. Before anyone could fully comprehend the situation, shots were fired. The sudden violence plunged the venue into panic and confusion, ending a political rally and taking the life of one of the conservative movement's most recognizable figures. The news of Charlie Kirk's assassination prompted an immediate and personal response from former President Donald J. Trump. Kirk was not just a political ally to Trump, he was a steadfast and vocal champion of the Make America Great Again movement. From Mar-a-Lago, President Trump released a statement. He expressed profound sadness and outrage. He called Kirk a fearless American patriot and brave warrior taken too soon. Trump ordered flags at the White House and all federal buildings lowered to half-staff. This directive is a significant honor, typically reserved for major public figures. The gesture became a powerful symbol of the event's gravity. As the nation was processing the initial shock and grief of Charlie Kirk's assassination, a new controversy erupted from an unexpected source. The focus shifted to a public employee named Gavin Sylvia, a mid-level manager at the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. However, a post he made on his personal yet publicly accessible Instagram account thrust him into the national spotlight for all the wrong reasons. His Instagram post allegedly read, "Don't believe in karma, but this is close. One less fascist grifter to deal with." The post did not remain in obscurity for long. It was quickly screenshotted and shared across various social media platforms. Most notably X, the hashtag #FireGavin. Sylvia began trending on X, accumulating hundreds of thousands of posts in a matter of hours. Citizens from all walks of life, not just conservatives, expressed their disgust. They flooded FEMA's social channels with demands for immediate termination. Callers inundated public phone lines, emails flooded leadership inboxes. In response to the escalating outcry, FEMA's press office released an initial statement. The statement said the views did not reflect FEMA and had been referred to Internal Affairs and Human Resources for investigation. As the investigation into Gavin Sylvia's conduct began, journalists and online sleuths started digging into his past social media activity. What they unearthed painted a picture not of a single lapse but of a long-standing pattern of inflammatory partisan rhetoric. His public profiles on platforms like Facebook were filled with posts highly critical of conservative figures and policies. Investigators and reporters found numerous examples of derogatory, dehumanizing language used against political opponents, cultists, deplorables. This history showed his comment about Charlie Kirk's death was not isolated. While the controversy surrounding the FEMA employee raged, law enforcement agencies were working tirelessly on the primary investigation, finding and holding accountable the person responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, who apprehended a suspect at the scene. The suspect was identified as 24-year-old Benjamin Morrison, a former student who had reportedly dropped out last semester. In the days after the assassination, details about Morrison began to emerge. Investigators found radical political manifestos, left-wing materials, right-wing materials, suggesting a confused and volatile worldview. Morrison was charged with first-degree murder, multiple other felonies, and terrorism-related charges. The legal and ethical framework governing the speech of public employees is complex and continues to evolve. While the First Amendment provides broad protections for speech, these protections are not absolute for government workers. The Supreme Court has addressed this issue in cases like Pickering v. Board of Education. The Pickering balancing test weighs the employee's interest in speaking on matters of public concern against the government's interest in promoting efficient public services. In Gavin Sylvia's case, legal experts are divided on how Pickering might apply. His lawyers would argue the Instagram post was speech on a matter of public concern posted from his personal account on his own time. They'd say it didn't interfere with his ability to manage emergency response logistics. FEMA's lawyers would counter that the post caused catastrophic damage to the agency's reputation, harmed its relationship with the public. Beyond legal arguments, federal employees must follow established codes of conduct. Those codes require acting impartially and avoiding actions that create the appearance of impropriety or undermine public confidence. FEMA's internal affairs will focus not just on First Amendment issues, but on whether his conduct broke federal service rules. The tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk and the subsequent scandal involving a FEMA employee are more than just two isolated news events. They are intertwined symptoms of a deeper issue facing our society: the erosion of public trust, accelerated and amplified by the power of social media. The murder of a political figure is the most extreme and horrifying breakdown of civil discourse. At the same time, the online celebration of that murder by a public servant represents a profound decay in the principles of neutrality and respect that are supposed to underpin our government institutions. Social media platforms have become the primary arena for our political conversations, but this digital public square is often a hostile environment. Algorithms designed to maximize engagement often reward outrage and extremism, pushing people into ideological echo chambers where opposing views are not just disagreed with but dehumanized. This environment makes it easier for individuals to forget the humanity of those on the other side of the political aisle. It can lead someone like Gavin Sylvia to post something so callous, and in its most extreme form, it can contribute to the radicalization that may lead to real-world violence. Restoring trust is a monumental task. It requires a collective effort to re-establish norms of civility and respect in our public discourse, both online and off. For government agencies, it means implementing clear, modern standards for employee conduct and demonstrating an unwavering commitment to impartial service. For citizens, it means resisting the pull of outrage and making a conscious effort to engage with one another as fellow human beings, even in disagreement. We must hold our public servants accountable, but we must also hold ourselves accountable for the climate we create. How do we protect free speech without allowing our discourse to descend into toxic hatred? How can we ensure our public institutions serve everyone fairly in an era of intense polarization? And most importantly, how can we use the powerful tools of social media to build bridges rather than burn them? There are no easy answers, but we must begin by recognizing the immense power of our words and the fragility of the public trust, a trust that is essential for a healthy society and, once broken,